Alright guys, so this is Fuberduge, and today we're going to be taking a look at my new and improved Menasor Stunticon team. So as you can see, they all look pretty significantly better. As you can see, Motormaster I'm actually really proud with Motormaster's design. But as you can see, yeah, just the other guys, they all look a lot better in my opinion, and I hope you like them better. So we're just going to go left to right, and then we'll deal with Motormaster last. So we're going to start with Breakdown. I kept his design very similar to the old one. As you can see, the car is pretty similar. I only changed like a few things, but it's just to give more articulation and whatever. I'm going to add like details later, like the red sticker or whatever there and stuff. But as you can see, he's got a Decepticon logo. Yeah, try to go for the Lamborghini look as much as possible. It kind of stays true to it, but not entirely. So anyway, to transform it, what you do is his arms are tabbed up here, and you just disconnect them from there. So rotating them out, same thing over here, just gonna rotate this out. And his legs are still in ball joints. And just rotate this piece all the way down, and take this piece all the way back like that. And there you have Breakdown in his robot mode. And he does have a weapon. I have all the weapons right here. Here it is. You just see this hole right here. Just plug this in and position it however you want. So yeah, he's pretty much the same. He's got a Decepticon logo right there. Head's the same. As I said before, I'll add like artwork and stuff to the faces to give them more personality, but this is just kind of like a base, if you will. So nothing at the head for articulation. He does rotate theoretically 360 degrees at the shoulder, but this back thing gets in the way. He does bend about 90 degrees at the elbow, and he has ball joints. So he can go move forward, a little bit back, somewhat out, not entirely, but it's Lego, so you're always going to get limited articulation. So anyway, Breakdown is done, so putting him there. Here is Dragstrip, and his design is pretty much the same as well, just like a few changes here and there. So for Dragstrip, as you can see, he's like the Formula 1 race car, and tried to go for that look a little bit. It might be a little bit different than how it looked. Actually, I don't think he was a Formula 1 race car in the G1 series or his G1 model and his toy, but it just kind of looks like a generic version of it. So to transform him, what you want to do is just the arms are just already like that. You rotate this down, it's on a ratchet, and then you rotate this piece all the way down, rotate the head up, and then you just kind of take the legs out like about that far. And there you have Dragstrip in his robot mode, and he's still my least favorite out of the designs. I just don't have a whole lot of yellow pieces, and I didn't feel like ordering some yellow pieces on eBay or whatever. But he does have a gun. You have this thing, as you can see, he's got a hole right there. He does kind of have monkey arm syndrome, but whatever. His legs are kind of short too, but overall, it's not too bad for him. So I'm just going to shift my camera over here so I can get everyone shot. Next we have Wild Rider, and he is revamped. Besides Motormaster, he's revamped the most. So as you can see, he looks much better, and there's no parts forming involved in any of these guys for transforming, unless if you count weapon storage as parts forming, but that's only for Motormaster. But anyway, for Wild Rider here, as you can see, he's got a nice Decepticon logo here. He's got red accents all throughout, and so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he is a Ferrari. I can't remember if he was at the Ferrari or he was. I'm pretty sure Wild Rider was the Ferrari. An 80s Ferrari, that is. But I didn't really try to go for that look. For him and Dead End, I just went for generic cars just because of a lack of pieces I have. So to transform him, what I'm going to do first is you take the legs, you split them, and then you rotate this piece all the way back like that. Same thing over here. And you just rotate this piece all the way back like that. And as you can see, his legs can just flop apart and stuff. His arms don't really do anything, you just leave his arms. And so what you want to do with the back piece now, you take this flap, and I kind of borrowed this design from the Combiner Wars, and I got pieces falling off of me. So I just fold this piece down, and this piece right here, you fold this all the way down for robot mode. And this you fold down, and then as you can see, he's kind of headless, so you take the head here, and you rotate this thing forward, and it just sits right there. So there is Wild Rider in his robot mode. And I think robot-wise, he looks much better than the earlier one. the earlier one was just really pudgy and kind of short looking. He's actually one of the taller, of the limbs at least, one of the taller ones. And I just overall like the way he looks. So he does have a weapon. Here it is. He's got pegs on both hands, so he can hold it in either hand, unlike the previous two guys. These two guys can't do it just because I couldn't find any other pieces to match. But anyway, yeah, he can hold the gun. He can fire at you. So for articulation, his head, he can nod. He can look up. He can, yeah, look down. That's about it. Can't rotate because it's kind of a hinge piece right here, so it'd be really hard to do that. But his arms technically or theoretically rotate 360 degrees. It's just this backpack gets in the way. But it's enough for that. I didn't have enough pieces for an elbow joint, so I apologize if you want to see an elbow joint in this guy, but whatever. Nothing at the waist. He does go in and out about that far. Not too far, but that's good enough for me. He rotates forward, and this piece just came off. He rotates forward. He rotates back. He bends at the knee. And that's about it for this guy. So, articulation overall in these guys, I just tried to amp it up a little bit so I could get a few more poses out of him. And standing is kind of a trick with this guy. Kind of has a lack of heel spurs, but you kind of have to bend him over a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal to me. So, next we have Dead End. And for him, again, I said I didn't know what kind of car he was. So, I don't know. I'm going to take a long shot and say... never mind, I'm not even going to do that. But as you can see, it's kind of... I don't really have a whole lot of red pieces, so I used a lot on the shell, and underneath you got a bunch of black and stuff, and you can just see his whole silhouette under there. But he does roll nicely. He's the one who has the big tires in the back just because I ran out of tires, and I needed other pieces. But to transform him, what you want to do is take these legs, same design as Wild Rider, excuse me. So you fold these all the way back, and then the arms... they're tabbed in up here on this long piece right here. So just untab that, and I just took this thing totally off. Rotate this. Same thing over here. Just untab it, rotate it down. This piece, it moves down like that, and then you rotate this back up against his back. And extend his head up just a little bit to give him a little bit of a neck. So there is Dead End, and I kind of kept the same design for him. As you can see, the head's the same, and the chest piece is the same, but like I kind of changed the legs up a little bit just so he'd be a lot more posable. So he does bend at the elbow. It's still kind of loose just because of the pieces I have. He does rotate the shoulder. It does go about that far. He does bend if you can get him about that far. He can't reach far above his head just because of where the tires are located. His head does rotate. His thighs do swivel up here. He bends at the knee a little under 180 degrees, but that's about it for him. So he does have a weapon as well, and as you can see, he's got a little porthole right here, and you just take this piece right here, and it just plugs in like this, and I just took his whole arm off. But anyway, that's just how Legos work. So, putting this piece back on, if it gets like wedged into the tire, he can hold it up like that. So, let me put this thing upside down. There we go. Alright, so there is Dead End. And I'm going to have to make a jump cut here just so I can use Motormaster because he's a really big guy. So, jump cut. Alright, so Motormaster has the stage all to himself. And as you can see, he looks a lot more solid than the previous incarnation that I had. It was really long and really oversized, and it just didn't really fit together. All the colors were different. I did order a huge tub full of gray Legos, so that's why his trailer looks a lot more solid and one color. There are a few pieces bleeding through, but I don't really care about that. I really like the overall look of this figure. And I'll try to rotate him around so you can see the cab, but that piece just came off, but I have to lift it up. For the cab, I just went for kind of an aesthetic sort of look, like really organic and kind of plain, like a lot more plain than the previous one. So I have pieces falling off of me, so I'm just going to jump cut again. Sorry about this. Okay, so now I got him situated and everything. He does roll fairly nicely. That's one thing I got to align with all the wheels, and they are kind of located in weird random places, but it's the only places I could have put the wheels. So he does rotate fairly nicely, and these will serve a different purpose, but they kind of serve as gas cans almost. I kind of like how that kind of looks like that. And there is kind of a big gap right here, but it has to be there for this whole thing to work, so I can honestly get past that. But overall, very good looking. And if you want to see a size comparison, actually, I should probably do that eventually, but I'll kind of scoot him back here. Here he is with Masterpiece Prime. So as you can see, the cab is actually fairly decent size. I didn't get the trailer in here just because it's really big. Actually, I can probably grab it here real quick. Just put it on, align it, and everything. I can get it here. There we go. Alright, dog hairs. I'm gonna have to try to do an aerial shot just because of how big these guys are. So, there's the comparison, and I couldn't get any longer without parts forming, so, he's actually pretty close to the size of Optimus Prime. So, taking off Prime here, he's just a very big guy, at least for how big Motormaster should be. And in robot mode, he is taller than Optimus Prime, which was kind of unavoidable just because of the kind of look I was going for. I was going for the G1 look, so if you ever go for the G1 look, he's just going to be overly huge. So, to transform Motormaster, what I'm going to do first, and he's going to get pretty tall, and he might be kind of fiddly, so bear with me. What you want to do first. So, this gun, this is actually a gun attachment. I just take this piece off, and a piece already fell off. This is the gun, what will become the gun, and we'll just set this off to the side. So as you can see, the back is kind of hollow, but we'll fix that eventually. So, I'm just going to rotate out these, which will become the arms. So rotating that piece out, and this, you can see this piece, and I might have to lift it up for you to see this. This blue piece connects to a port down here. So kind of like the old design, except a lot smaller. Rotate this piece back, pegs into place, voila, we have the chest piece done. And on the legs, as you can see, there are two connector pieces right here that connect into pieces right here and here. And before we do that, we're going to split the legs, which can be kind of a task, but they connect in a trillion different places. So up here, for one, they connect up there. In the center of the cab, they do, so trying to split this apart without breaking anything. There we go. And one thing I did forget is these have to rotate out. So, and this piece came up, but this just rotates out just like that. I'm just doing everything out of order. And a piece just came off. So, rotating this piece out, putting this back on. These pieces just fold down like that. And now we can split apart the legs, and they're on ratchets. So, I might have to move the camera down so you can see a bit of what I'm doing. This piece connects right here, and this, I make sure you put it one ratchet down so it creates a heel spur. So this connects right there, and that stays locked into place. Same thing over here, just put this piece down, lock this into place, and now I believe we can stand him up because we have the legs situated. So, as you can see, he's starting to get pretty tall. So these things just kind of become hip guard flap thingies, so you just leave that. With these pieces, you fold, oh, I just broke it. You fold this in, like so. Fold this piece down slightly, and I broke it instead of fold it down. Oh, this wants to be difficult with me today. There we go. Same thing over here. Just fold this piece down, and you might have to move the legs out of the way to have clearance. Fold this piece down. And this way, he kind of has smaller looking legs. He doesn't have overly huge legs, and this piece can't peg. That's why it's not saying. There we go. Alright, so the legs are pretty much done now. So I'm going to raise my camera so you can see what I'm doing. As you can see, his head's up there. Right there. So with the arms, it's kind of an interesting mechanism. I'm just going to put them out like this. They're on ratchets and everything. So with this, this piece is probably not extended all the way. You pull this piece out and you extend the arm, and once it hits here, you put this back in. And you can put those both in, and there you have an arm done. Same thing on this other arm. Just pull this piece out, pull this all the way down, put this in, and you have the arms pretty much done. And then with these things on the side of his head, and actually we can put it up now, you can see his head right there. With these things, they're on ratchets, so fold them back this way, like so, and even so, then I just bumped my camera, they're still kind of on the side. So I'm just going to try to rotate Motormaster all the way around without breaking anything. So rotating him back here, and his back is actually fairly clean, as you can see. You want to rotate this piece like so, just like that, on both sides. Alright, so I just kind of had sort of a blooper there. I just had this guy fall backwards on me and totally break. Kind of, oh, whoa. So I just fixed him up again, and now we're going to start right back up where we left off. So, these things, I rotated them around. Now they're on ratchets, and they just fold down to form the backpack. Just like that. And hopefully he won't fall back on me this time. And there goes the piece. Broke off again. There we go. And they do just kind of hang out back there, but honestly, there's no other place I could have put them. So, gonna rotate him around without breaking him. And yeah, they are kind of, as you can see, as I turn them around, they do look kind of awkward hanging off the sides, but it'll have to work. So, and his leg came untabbed. Alright, so rotating him around, getting him situated here. There we have Motormaster transformed and in his robot mode. And, yeah, he looks decently better. I do kind of like the look of his chest and everything. But his arms, as you can see, up in his shoulders. The one design flaw I have on this thing is his shoulders are kind of wimpy looking. And his forearms are overly huge, but it's the best I could do with it, so. He doesn't look terrible. I do like him, the look of him better than his old one, but for articulation, and this is going to be kind of risky, but I'm going to try to do this. I'll move the camera forward just so you can see. His head does rotate. It doesn't do anything else besides rotate. And his shoulders are on ratchets, so he can hold weapons. And speaking of weapons, I'll take this thing over here. This piece just, everything's falling apart on me. Alright, so, this is his weapon. Rotating this piece forward. So, it's got little holes right here, just pegs right into the hand, unless if it breaks. There we go. So, he probably can't hold it very well, just because of how top heavy it is, and since it's top heavy, it might fall forward, but there's his weapon. I'm just going to take it off right now so it doesn't cause any more problems, and his hand came with it, so putting the hand back on. So, as you can see, he's got ratchets here. He goes in and out. He does rotate. He does rotate at the elbow as well, and he does bend at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. These things do flip out to accommodate him kicking out, so holding him here, can go decently far out. And if I push this thing all the way, and I just broke it off, but as you can see, the hip guards do move out of the way, so he can kick his enemies. And putting this piece back on. They do rotate forward, and I'm breaking everything again. Rotate forward, rotate back. I'm half tempted to put super glue on this guy. That's about it for the legs. No knee joint, because I had to sacrifice knee joint for stability in Menasor mode, which I'm totally okay with. So, yeah, there is Motormaster in all of his glory. And now we can do a jump cut. I'm just gonna get them all ready to put them into Menasor mode. So, with all these guys back in vehicle mode, with the exception of Motormaster, we can now transfer them into their combined modes. And I bumped my camera, sorry about that. So, we're just going to go left to right again. So with breakdown here, the only thing you really do is just put this thing down, and this is already up. His foot peg right here just comes on, pegs on just like that, and he's done. So there's a leg. Next we have Dragstrip here. He's pretty much done. The only thing you have to do is add the hand. So you take the hand here, and you just connect this piece right here, and that kind of keeps his legs from swiveling out of proportion. And then the actual connector port, which, rotating this piece down, pegs on right there. So, done. And now we have another leg, and his tire just came off. So putting that back on. With him, pretty much the only thing you have to do again is I'm just going to rotate this piece down, rotate this piece down, and you have to be careful, because this piece, you might not be able to see it, but you'll see it later. I have to ratchet it up, and carefully this thing can just slide right over. And grabbing it I'm pulling it up. As you can see, there's the ratchet in this guy. And that's one thing that I tried to aim for was as much non-parts forming as possible. So pegging this foot on just like that. There is the foot, and the feet are done. So last for the limbs, we have dead end. So you just rotate his legs out like so. And that's pretty much all you do for the actual figure for transformation. For this just pegs on like so right here. And they have a fully articulated hand. And then you have the connector piece, which does plug in up here. Like so. And this just rotate out. So there we have another arm. And I'm just going to try to put these limbs out of the way just because Motormaster is kind of a pain to deal with. So moving them more out of the way, just totally off screen. For Motormaster, he's obviously the most fiddly, so to get him into Menasor mode, I actually haven't made a Menasor head, so I'm just going to keep Motormaster's head. So, yeah, whatever. With the arms, you rotate them back like this. And that kind of reveals some pieces here. Rotate this all the way back, flush against the side, and rotate this piece down like that to kind of give him some bulk. So the arms actually don't parts form this time around, just like the last ones did. So rotating him back this way, you do the same thing with this arm. Ratchet it up, ratchet it this way, put it flush against the side, and the arms are done. And as you can see, that kind of doubles as, his arms double as bulking up for the torso mode, which I actually really like. So, to cap off the top, you just take the chest piece right here, same chest piece, and I have to take these pieces off because I don't need them anymore. You just tab this thing onto here, just like so, and there you have the chest piece, and you can see the Decepticon logo still there. I didn't really change the chest piece at all, just an FYI. Okay, sorry about the jump cut there, my camera just died on me, so now I've got it plugged in and everything. So, we were on the legs, I believe, so I'm just going to have to move some things out of the way that you can't see. So anyway, coming to the legs, unpeg these pieces, and these you want to fold all the way up, or what were the heel spurs, you just fold all the way up, like so. And what's nice about this is I don't have to take these off now, because I made a whole mechanism where these things can attach. So, these back pegs right here, just plug into the back, like so. And it does give him major back kibble, like major back kibble, but it actually really helps to balance out the weight in this guy. So I'm kind of glad that I decided to go that route. And then these pieces just fold all the way down to fill in the gaps right here. So folding these down, I'm just going to have to set him right here flat on his face without totally breaking everything. So, just gonna have to put this piece back on. Now we can get these guys all out here, and I can start combining him. So, apologize that this is really boring to look at right now, but it's just the way life works. So, rotating this piece down, I set him flat on his face. So, bringing these other guys in here, disregarding the arms, let's put the legs out here first. So, there we have the legs, and I have to grab him without breaking him, and I'll put this piece on later. So, to connect these pieces, they need to be aligned properly. So, there's one, and I put it on wrong. I forgot about that. That's one thing, or another thing I had to do, which I didn't want to do, is I had to put them on backwards, technically, like this, for this whole thing to work. So, come on. There we go, there's two. Alright. So there we have the legs finished. I'm going to have to send back here, because he's actually quite tall. There we go. So, as you can see, the legs are all connected and everything. So, I'm gonna have to put this piece back on without shaking him. He's very tall. He's not as tall as Combiner Wars Devastator, but he's still pretty tall. And he's kind of top heavy, which really stinks, but once I got everything aligned, he does stay fairly securely. So I have a crotch plate right here, which just connects somewhere up here. Right here, gotta move these out of the way, or take them all the way off. So that just goes right on. That kind of keeps everything out of the way, or at least the hip guards out of the way. So, he's wanting to fall over on me. Forgot to put this piece up. There we go. And the hoods just kind of fill in everything. So, I might have to make the foot pieces bigger because he's starting to fall over on me. So, gonna back up the camera here if I can. As you can see, he's starting to get very, very large. So, to attach the arms, and you can see my background stuff, I apologize. To get the arms on, you got holes right up here and here, and as you can see, you got the ports right here. So, connecting dead end, and I might have to do these pieces actually like this instead, because this doesn't want to be my friend today. So, reconnecting him. Actually, I probably don't want to do that because I have to get the other connector piece on. So, taking this connector piece, putting that in there, and connecting the arm and the other arm. There we go. And I'm gonna have to situate him properly so he'll stand. There we go. There is my new and improved, quite significantly, Menasor. And he's trying to fall backwards or forward on me. Come on, buddy. You're my friend. Come on. Come on. You know, I might have to just lean him against the back. Usually he stands up, but for some reason I must have aligned something wrong. So just lean him against the back here. Trust me, I don't want him falling apart. There we go. So I'm gonna try to get this all in camera, but there he is. Yeah, he looks a lot better. He definitely looks a whole heck of a lot better. As you can see, he just looks more natural. My other one looked a lot more boxy, and yeah, Menasor is supposed to be kind of boxy anyway, but this just looks better in my opinion. So I'm going to try to get some size comparisons in here. So for the first size comparison, we'll get a deluxe size figure in here. So I got one right here, just situating him. There he is next to Astro Train. So he is quite large, quite large. So taking off Astro Train. For a Voyager size, here is Sandstorm. I don't have his foot transformed all the way. There he is next to Sandstorm. So, yeah, that works very well still with a Voyager figure. So, taking off him. Here is with a leader class figure. It kind of sort of works, but not really. So, try to put them more side by side. I'll move his arm out of the way, which likes to go untabbed. So you can see his head kind of comes up to about halfway. He's about half his height. So, yeah, leader doesn't really work. And for all of you people who want to see how he scales with Masterpiece, here he is with Masterpiece Wheeljack. And that does work right there for me. Wheeljack can be that tall. So, there he is with Masterpiece Wheeljack. Here he is with Soundwave. And yeah, he's about leader class size. So that kind of works, but not really. So taking off Soundwave. And even though he's not Masterpiece, he's still Masterpiece in my book. Here is Apollyon. So the Stunticons with their leader. So that's how that pans out. So again, it doesn't really work, but at least he's taller. At least he's not like G1 Devastator where he's super short. Here he is with Combiner Wars Superion. So the arch nemesis together. Menasor would beat him any day. At least my Menasor would beat this thing. So, yeah, it's kind of bigger than I would have liked, but it's okay, because I like big, so taking off Superion. And for the last comparison, I don't know how I'm going to be able to fit these two on here, but there is Combiner Wars Devastator. And he's still got about a head tall, actually. The head is almost as tall. So he's got like a half a head over him, and this is kind of deceiving. There you go. That's more proper. That's how it looks in person. So this guy is very big. So taking off the Devastation, and he just fell over. There is my new and improved Lego Menasor, and I'm very proud of this thing, and it will be featured in my new movie. So be prepared to see some awesome Lego Transformer action in Transformers: The Return of Megatron. So this is Fuberduge. I want to thank you guys for watching. Keep playing, guys.